speaker has a dynamic personality. Her first Toastmaster club was also Tampa Toastmaster 1810. She joined in 2014. And can anybody guess how many years it took her to become a DTM?
18 months.
18 months?
3 years.
3 years? 6 months?
1 year.
1 year?
3 years.
3 years? She took only 3 years and 10 months to become a DTM. The title of her speech tonight is Because There's Always More to Learn. Please welcome our DTM, Sheila Norman.
How many of you think that right now we're dealing with times of change? I'm inclined to agree, and John's speech reminded me of a quote that I think is apropos. And this quote came from a gentleman who made a major error and found himself in prison. And when they interviewed him about the reasons that he was disappointed that he ended up in prison, one of the answers he gave was he felt like he was cheated because being in prison deprived him of the full range of mistakes that he could have otherwise learned from. Now think about that. You lose years of your life and that's what you're worried about. That's also why I think it's really important to think about becoming a DTM, because there is always more to learn. It took me only about 2.5 years to finish the requirements for a DTM, other than completing the paperwork. Because to me, what was really important is not the prize. Don't get me wrong, I like the prize, but it's the process of everything that you learn when you're becoming a DTM. And I learned 3 major things. Number 1, how to communicate better. That's not a big surprise. Number 2, how to lead better. And I was a little surprised by how much I learned about how to lead better. And last, the rewards you get from learning those things. So let's talk about communicating better. I'm a trained lawyer, so I had 7 years of higher education. I think you'd be bored with learning at that point, but no, because you go to law school for 3 years. They don't teach you in law school how to be a lawyer. They hope they taught you how to figure out how to be a lawyer after you get out. They go ahead and give you a license, though, as soon as you pass the bar exam. And then you go off on a course of what they call practicing. I've been doing it for 25 years now. I'm still practicing law. I'm sure my clients would be somewhat disappointed to learn that. I do about 3 things with most of my time. One's called the ends of court. The ends of court is all about professionalism and helping lawyers be better lawyers. I do Toastmasters. Y'all see me here a lot of the time. And I also do belly dancing. And recently my mom asked me, which do you like better? And what occurred to me when she asked me that question is they really all go together. When you think about learning how to be a better communicator, belly dancing is probably not the first thing that comes to mind. That is all dance is. You're communicating your experience of the music to the audience. You're sharing communication. I can say to you how I feel about you, but when I combine that with body language, it becomes a whole different thing. So when we're dancing and we share ourselves with the audience, everyone knows what we mean, even though we didn't use any words. Toastmasters makes me a better belly dancer. Belly dancing makes me a better Toastmaster, and both of those things make me a better lawyer. And one good thing about Toastmasters is you don't have to be as concerned about showing up in the wrong outfit. Everybody gets upset if you show up to court in your belly dancing costume. But they're even more disappointed when you show up to belly dance in your lawyer costume. And I'll tell you this, I thought from my experience in the ends of court, I had learned a lot about leadership. Because they'd send me to training institute after training institute after training institute to learn how to be a better leader. And I've been a boss, It's pretty easy to get to someone to do what you want them to do when you're paying them. And I've been a leader in the Inns of Court, and a lot of people will do what you ask them to do just because you asked. And if that doesn't work, you just send them an email and CC the judge. Then they get right on it. But in Toastmasters, you're going to become a DTM, and you're going to go through the process of being an area director. You are going to be required to get the cooperation of other people. It takes a village to make a contest. There is no possible way that you can do it by yourself, and you need the same number of functionaries to have a contest if you have 4 contestants as you do if you have 10 contestants. So you may go to a contest where there's more people working than there are speaking in the contest. Become an area director, and you're going to learn to get people to do what you need for them to do, even though you have nothing to offer them. Except the fact that you're going to show up at their contest and do it in return. And finally, after you do these things, you get to reap the rewards of being a DTM. It's not the prize, although I still like the prize. It's all of the wonderful people like yourselves that you meet along the way. You will learn that this is an incredibly special club. Think about this. Internationally, statistically, 10% of Toastmasters become competent communicators. 1% of Toastmasters become DTMs. That alone speaks volumes about what a special club this is. And I will stay in Toastmasters forever because I think learning is incredibly important. This is one of my favorite quotes. In times of change, learners inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with the world that no longer exists. Keep learning in Toastmasters, and you'll notice it's one of the few organizations that is continuously striving to improve.